last video, I took you guys on a walk with me, and I mentioned some of the poets that I feel a kinship with, not only because they were poets, but because they were walkers as well. Thoreau, Baudelaire, Rachel Lindsay, Wallace Stevens. But I was remiss that I hadn't mentioned Mary in the morning and kind of in search of a poem as she... And Lindsay, his plane, I'll tell you where she could be found if only we were looking over Mr. Stevens. And on Facebook I see Sally Nurse's poems, although they're really photographs, but on her walks she takes photographs of these beautiful flowers, and it's similar to Mary Oliver walking around and then writing about flowers or whatever she came in contact with and made more beautiful than it already was. So anyway, there you have it.